we move forward, let's go ahead and talk about our next topic, and that's going to be this one right here, and that's going to be Mr. Erickson Lubin. And Erickson Lubin goes ahead and he wins, and he won. And I thought he won. I had him winning. I had him winning 116, 112 at the end of the night. 115, 113 on my card, actually. I'm sorry. But Erickson Lubin shocks undefeated Jesus Ramos, wins by a controversial unanimous decision. Now, what happened is that I feel that Jesus Ramos is a guy that is a really, really good fighter. He has a really, really good attitude, and he goes about his business the way that you want every boxer to go about their business. But in this fight, he was given bad advice. He was told by his corner that he was way up, he's doing good, he's killing this guy. There's nothing that will stop him from winning this fight. This was about the 7th round. So then he decided to go ahead and just be on autopilot. And what happened is that he pretty much gave away rounds at the end of the night, and it actually wound up being something that messed him up because Lubin ran away to a unanimous decision. He was 115, 113 on one card, 116, 112 on another card, and then wrapped it up with the 117, 111. And I know where the 117, 111 came from. That judge already had Lubin winning most of the rounds. And then when Ramos decided to not fight as hard anymore, the ref just went ahead and just went on autopilot of giving 10-9s to Erickson Lubin. Same thing went with the other two judges as well, too. You can't get mad when a guy starts taking rounds off. Yeah, you fought really well the first 6 or 7 rounds, but you're not a world champion, bro. It's that simple. You're a 20-0 prospect. And I know that fighting on pay-per-view gets a lot of guys' idea who they are twisted. But no, Jesus Ramos is a prospect, and Erickson Lubin is a championship contender. This was Ramos's opportunity to prove he's a championship contender. He did not prove that at all. He didn't. Sorry, he just didn't. And he will probably have more opportunities to go ahead and win championships and be in big fights and all that good stuff. But Erickson Lubin went ahead and sent a message to the rest of the boxing world. Stop calling him a gatekeeper. This guy's a future world champion. He's just been unfortunate to not be able to fight these guys as much as others. And that's because he's a danger. Yeah, he had a rough night against Fondora, but he could have beat Fondora. And if that card went to, if that fight went to the distance, it would have been a draw. I was there. You guys can say whatever you want watching it on TV and listening to that goofball Morello, but I'm at these fights. I don't listen to commentators. It's different, okay? And Erickson Lubin was going to be a draw. And Erickson Lubin could have probably stopped Fondora at some point in that fight. They had to stop the fight. The man's face was rearranged, but he did not do bad that night. He did not do that bad at all, and he showed every flaw and every issue that Fondora had. Mendoza went and took advantage of it. Now Mendoza is seen as this great fighter. No. Fondora got exposed by Erickson Lubin, who's a master boxer. And Erickson Lubin comes back and knocks out Louis Harris, who's been a very game opponent the last few times out, and even upset Jared Hurd, who was the former unified champion of the division. So that's where we get it messed up as boxing fans and boxing analysts and all that good stuff. You always want to use one fight to judge a guy's career. That was a young Lubin fighting against a Jamal Charlo who was at the prime pinnacle of his career at that moment in time when he knocked him out. So things have changed since then. And I truly do feel that you got to get Lubin his shot at one of these belts as well, too. That's why I'm hoping that these sanctioning bodies really get on Jamel Charlo about giving up these belts, because he's holding them hostage now. Okay, you got your little fight with Canelo, all that good stuff. But you know what? Let these belts go, because at the end of the day, there's others that deserve the opportunity to have them. You know what I mean? And this is what gets me kind of teed up about undisputed champs. That's great, because that's good for fans to say, oh, he the man, he the man, he the man. We got too many boxers for that. And that's why we got so many sanctioning bodies, dude. Because then when these guys get the title, they start getting complacent. And then they start having to cherry pick. And then they got to fight mandatories that aren't draws. And this is where it becomes a problem. And this is where I feel if you break up the belts, you can get more title fights, better quality situations, and you don't have to always depend on this one guy deciding when he wants to fight. You know what I mean? But it is what it is at the end of the day. I feel that Erickson Lubin, once again, did not get the respect that he was supposed to get in this fight. It's that simple. And he beat the kid. The kid stopped fighting hard. And you know what? You don't reward that. You're not a world champion. You've never fought for a world championship. You're on pay-per-view because you're able to bring in a lot of eyes. And yes, you've done a great job. But the moment I heard Extreme Training Camp, I said, this kid's in trouble tonight. He'll probably gas out by the 6th or 7th or 8th round. And that's exactly what happened. Congratulations to Erickson Lubin on a great victory in my eyes. And also to Jesus Ramos, you're still a very talented fighter. I enjoy watching you fight, but you just learned a valuable lesson on how you approach this boxing game. You don't play boxing, homie. And it's that simple. All right, we move forward. Let's